Oftentimes when we're talking about bass fishing, we're talking about lakes, reservoirs, and huge river systems. But today we're going to talk about how to find and locate bass in small streams just like this. Hi there, and welcome to the Bass Fishing Life. I'm your host, Steve Rogers. Today we are standing just outside of Hunter, New York, in an absolutely beautiful setting with a small mountain stream. And when I see a river like this, the first thing that pops into my head is smallmouth. Well, if you find a place where you can, you've got your rod with you, you got your reel with you, and you find a pull off and you bring the car to the side and you're going to spend a few hours walking around fishing a river like this or a stream like this, where do we even begin? The first thing that we're going to talk about is our seasonal patterns, which we discussed in an earlier video, and I'll put the link right down here in case you haven't seen that one. Well, we know that our water temperature is around that 70-degree mark. Okay, it's a little bit cooler here since we're dealing with some streams coming out of some mountains here on the East Coast. It's not like in the Midwest where it's flat and hot, or some southern reservoirs where the surface temp is 85, 90 degrees. So we're in that 70, low 70 water temperature range, which means for this area, it's going to be your summertime fishing. So the first thing that I want to look for is some deeper pools. As you can probably tell here, we've got a lot of shallow water. But if you start to look around, start to walk around, take a look at some different locations, you're going to find deeper water. Now remember, the key is deeper, not deep. If what I have right here is only 3 or 4 inches or maybe a foot, if I find an area that settles down to 2 feet, maybe 3 feet, that is going to be an area that in a summertime stream like this is going to hold fish. So that's the first thing that I'm going to look for. Once I have those deeper pools located, the next thing that I'm going to look at very carefully is the current. I'm going to take a look at the different current seams, the eddy pools, and what I want to do is I want to fish every single place where the current does something different. So if that means going around a rock, going around a clump of vegetation, I'm going to fish the upper side of that current coming into a current break. I'm going to fish the lower side of that, the seams. Here we've got water on this side and this side where they come together, and right where they come together, they're going to form a little pocket of slack water. So I'm going to try to fish every single different current area that I can, because throughout a day, those smallmouth, they are going to, when they're actively feeding, change positions, and when they're not feeding, they're going to fall back into some of those deeper holes. So depending what the fish are doing, whether they're actively feeding or not, is going to determine which part of the current that they're going to use. So that's why I'm going to check all the different current seams that I can find. Cast or two here, cast or two here, and that's going to give me a lot of information. The last thing that I need to know in a small stream or river like this is my presentations have to be natural. What do I mean by that? We want our baits to flow down with the current just like natural forage would. When those fish are just sitting and they're in that kind of, relaxed position, or if they're going to move up and start to feed, they're going to always look upstream. So we want to cast upstream and let our presentations come back down with the current. We don't want it to move faster than the current, and we don't want it to move a whole lot slower than the current. It wants to be pretty steady with it. Matter of fact, if you have somebody that you know that's a fly fisherman, this is a great time to talk to them, because these are the types of situations and natural current presentations that fly anglers use all the time. I hope that this helps you out, and man, I just, for all of you out there that love to bass fish, I hope that someday you get to stand in a setting like this, cast a line, and bring a small river, a stream smallmouth, back up, hold it, take a picture, let it go. This is an absolutely gorgeous setting, and this is why I love bass fishing so much. And don't forget to make sure that you encourage somebody today, because you never know what type of difference you're going to make in their life. For the Bass Fishing Life, I'm your host, Steve Rogers.